Hi, welcome to Texas Long with Miguel, your source for Red Pill Truth. Today we're going to do a topic on a wife who cheated on her husband. All right, she cheated on her husband, and then about 2 or 3 months ago got caught, and she wants him back. So we're going to go ahead and compile the story, and I'm going to narrate it. And the title of this is Episode 1. You don't know what you got until it's gone. You don't know what you got until it's gone. Seriously. Many people make a mistake of putting their emotions and feelings and heart on the sleeve, only to be made extra vulnerable. All right, I'm back right now. So, now I'm gonna go ahead and read this. This was 2 months ago. Comments are all locked, so the moderator and Reddit already locked it. I cheated on my husband 3 months ago. I need advice how to make it right. Alrighty, let's see. Let's go ahead and let's dig in, shall we? Hi, I made a Reddit account. Hopefully find some way to fix things between my husband and I. I would like to first of all say, please don't send me hate. I can assure you 100% certain anything you send to me, I've already told myself. She was in the moment. I'm just looking for advice how to fix things and be a loving couple again. Magically go back together where nothing ever happened. All right? Now, when a man gets cheated on, women, I'm going to, okay, women, females, when a man gets cheated on, it hits him so low that in order to make things right and straight again, all right, in order to make things, fix things straight again, there are going to be a lot of work. This infidelity, speaking of right here, is likened unto a character problem. I mean, women, you have a bad habit of wearing your heart on the sleeve, wearing your emotions on the sleeve, trying to go out and put your emotions out there for people to step on. You need to stop this. Men folks are logical creatures. To connect with a man, you're going to have to be logical with the man. And yes, he's going to like it when you're vulnerable and you're depending on him. And that's going to actually, okay, when you and him, just two of y'all, okay, two of y'all get together and focus on each other, your relationship and marriage is going to be super duper strong. Even the sharpest axe made by man falling out of the sky won't be able to split both of you up. Okay, now let's get back on this. Alrighty. I'm going to read this. 3 months ago, I went on a business trip, 3-day trip. On the first night, I went out for drinks with some of our co-workers. While out, a man flirting with me, I liked the attention. You see, now I'm going to go ahead and I'm not telling you what to do, okay? You went out for drinks. You went out for alcoholic drinks. You know, alcohol is a sex enhancer for a woman. It's like it turns that switch on. My husband has always been loving and supporting, and he's handsome and incredibly shaped. Constantly compliments me. Your husband gives you and you talk good about your husband here in this post right here. You talk damn good about your husband. But why did you let a man flirt with you and you like that attention from the other guy? Knowing you married your husband. Okay? You see, this is where I'm gonna inject my 2 cents in it later on this. I don't know why I felt so gratified by this random guy, but I did. After way too many drinks, I went with him to his apartment and we had bedroom fun, sex. Immediately afterwards, I realized what I'd done and left. I cut my part in the work trip short, saying I felt ill and went home. And okay. And I immediately confessed to my husband. I told him everything, offered to answer all his questions. He just said he needed to go for a walk and came back and just asked me if I liked it. Oh, wow. Wow. I was honest with him, and didn't. I didn't. It was fumbly drunk sex with a man. I clearly didn't care if I enjoyed it. This guy is nowhere good as my husband is. I told him all of this. He stood there looking at me and told me he needed to go out for a bit to think and left again. He was gone for a couple of hours and finally stumbled back through the door really drunk. He could barely speak, kind of drunk. This is now how become a common theme since it happened. He's gone from drinking 3 times a month to almost drinking every night. The man is trying to digest what the wife did at another man's apartment. The man is trying to digest this fresh wound of the marriage when he said his I do's to a wife. He's trying to digest this. Excuse me. Right? He's trying to digest this. All right? And not just drinking, getting blackout drunk, but passing out either in our backyard or on the couch. Then he started smoking cigarettes again. He quit 2 years ago. He's been blown off to our friends when they invite him out to events. He just go to work, comes home, drinks, smokes, passes out. He hasn't gone to the gym since I told him. He used to go 5 times a week. He barely eats anything. Whenever I try to talk to him, he just responds with his short answers or mumbles. We had our first marriage counseling session today, and he barely spoke. The counselor tried to get something out of him. He just did the same, short answers or mumbles. Okay. I offered everything I can think of to make things right. I've been doing things he's always done for me. Make coffee for him each morning, tell him he's handsome, offer to do errands for him. He doesn't seem to care anymore. He just seemed like a shell of his former self. I'm scared. I've done something irreparable. I haven't seen him smile this entire 2 nights ago. He came back from whatever pub. He's been drinking with a bloody nose and a black eye. I was horrified, tried to find out what happened. He told me to F off. He told me might as well go find that guy I cheated on with so I can be happy. I tried telling him I've always been happy with him. He threw it back in my face asking why I cheated then. I don't have an answer. I spent these months racking my brain but I can't think of a single reason why I did it. He was a better looking, nicer, better shape, more attentive, anything. That conversation when he came back with a bloody nose and black eye was the longest one I've had since I told him what I did. I don't know what to do. I've ruined my marriage. I'm asking the men here, is there something your cheating partner did that made you feel better? I'm lost. I love my husband more than anything. I'm watching him spiral is killing me. I need advice. If I've done anything to oppose him wrong, someone please let me know. I need advice. I never rarely use Reddit before. My sister recommended I make a post. Oh my God. Alrighty. Now, somebody else posted from Hananimalu posted this. Now, this is a sad post. I feel deeply for you. Reality, there's little you can do to help him if he doesn't want your help. The pain he's feeling is so intense. The only thing he can do to numb himself with alcohol. That tells me he doesn't have coping mechanism to survive this experience. If he cannot develop these, he's headed down a very dangerous road. Bloody nose, black eyes is just the beginning. I do not think he should continue marriage counseling. There's nothing wrong with your marriage. Marriage counseling is a waste of time and money at the moment. Just a desperate attempt to fix whatever that was never broken. Infidelity is the most serious emotional abuse any person can endure. He desperately needs individual counseling. Also, he needs to join AA to help him cut out the alcohol from life from good. He might need an intervention with friends and family to make him snap out of it, which means you have to tell these people why he changed from a loving husband into a raging alcoholic. Have you told anyone what you did? Keep your eyes and ears open and talk of ending the pain or himself. Alcohol is a depressant, could lead him to become a danger to himself. Ask what you can do to help him fix yourself. Is there something broken inside you that allow the words of a complete stranger to lure you in a night of a drunken sex without thinking how this would affect your marriage? This is really who you really are, and you need to change yourself until you find out what this brokenness is and develop a self-esteem necessary to withstand the advances of the next guy. You will not be a safe partner for anyone. Again, marriage counseling was not going to help you. You need individual IC. Lastly, you need to understand two things. Marriage you had is dead. You killed it. You will never be able to have it back. You might have to build something new, but it will never be good as before. Second, the man that was your husband is dead. This behavior you describe is himself resisting this transformation which had been trusted upon him against his will. He's broken and needs to find a way of picking up the pieces and rebuild himself. It could be that he realizes the only way of doing this is by divorcing you and finding someone else that protects his heart better than you. You need to accept it if it gets to that. If you're a person of faith, I would advise you pray for your husband and your marriage as hard as you can and enroll to help with the people of faith, because right now you two are heading for disaster. When people talk about hell on earth, they're talking about what your husband is going through right now. I will pray for you too, Deacon. Now, I started to type an answer, but this essentially covered all. Listen to Hannah Malou and start doing it ASAP. He might hurt himself even more in no time. To get proactive now, it's important. His life in jeopardy. My sister tried to end herself after her wayward spouse cheated. Her support system, her friend she knew cheated on, was the only thing that saved her life. Mm. Now, someone named Distracted523 has posted in here, okay? Reconciling BS. I don't know what that means. So, according to this, 3 years out of discovering my husband's infidelity, I can verify all what the poster is saying. We still married while much of what we have rebuilt is better than our previous marriage. Some parts are still severely damaged. My relationship with bedroom fun is deeply broken. I was once very confident bedroom fun positive woman who relished in sharing physical emotion and intimacy. Now I have no interest in bedroom fun. It's ruin. You will never recover what you once had. Hard truth, full stop. Your infidelity is a symptom of your brokenness. You need therapy. Injury to your husband will require that he gets therapy and treatment. Until both of you are healthier, individual marriage therapy will do nothing. We had to do therapy individually for about a year before marriage therapy did anything to help us. So you need to investigate, uncover your why until you know the answer to your liability. Read up on attachment theory to fully understand why you sabotage your marriage, why your infidelity qualifies as abuse. Cheating on a trusting partner is an emotional equivalent of a parent grossly abusing and neglecting their child. Sorry you found yourself here, the roughest road a person can choose for themselves and thrust on their partner. All right. Now, somebody said good advice. Definitely get individual counseling for both of you, especially your husband. Agree that marriage counseling is pointless. Neither you're well, neither you are well enough to take part. You've indicated your husband really wants to. You also not indicate if your husband really wants to R in the first place. You probably had additionally challenging R since you said it was happy and healthy marriage before you betrayed him. So I'm going to go ahead. He's dangerously self-medicating with alcohol at the moment. He needs to stop for his own health and career. If you are truly remorseful, get him the help he needs for his sake, not just for R. Oh yeah, probably the best to get a trusted family friend involved in helping him with alcoholism. You have to be honest with him why he is in this state. Please don't lie or omit or cover yourself. Good luck. Hope your husband gets the help he needs. To edit that, take a deeper life. Get someone your husband respects to help. Alrighty. Now, have you ever been in individual therapy to figure out why you cheated? Reading a book, podcast on affairs, how to help your partner heal. You may have very well ruined your marriage and broken your husband, who may never be the same. You need to figure out how to get him to a healthy spot, not to drinking to a minimum so he can throw the rest of his life away. He needs therapy in AA possibly. Once he's in this place to realize he doesn't need you to survive, with reconciliation will be an option for him. It is his choice. You really have no say in it at all. You're so focused on getting him where the chance of reconciliation. Once he's there, he may ask for space. Give him the space. You may want to line up a friend, not male, where you can stay at so it's not a struggle to find a place if he asks. This is most likely a 2 to 5 year fight to get some normalcy back in your marriage if you both commit to reconciliation 100%. Good luck, you are going to need it. Now, edit. Realize the old relationship marriage is over. If reconciliation is an option in a new relationship, he will never have the blind trust he had once for you. Business trip for the next few years should not be an option. I mean, coming from my 2 cents, actions have consequences. Sometimes it would be better, if you did something wrong, forgive yourself. All right, thank you for responding. I have booked my own counseling sessions. They don't start in another 3 weeks. I've been reading articles what to do, and I'm struggling to do anything because whenever I try to do anything, he immediately has no interest. I make him coffee. He just leave it on the counter and not touch it and make his own. I tried bringing up the drinking. He would either walk away or ignore me. I'm willing to do whatever he needs to help him. I've gotten to the point offering to let him have one night stand to make things even. I'll work as long as I need to make this right. I don't care if it takes 10 years. He's worth it. I also made it clear to my boss I can't do any more trips. She's the only person other than the couples counselor outside our relationship that knows. Woo! Now listen, when you go do business trips, then you get that temptation to go and drinking alcohol, and somebody comes up to you. I mean, you are referred to as a cake eater, someone who has no issues in their marriage. They have a loving, attentive, fulfilled relationship with their partner, but they still decide the excitement of an affair is worth risking everything. Women, did you know that you thrive on excitement to keep everything fun? Excitement like this here will come at a very huge cost. Are you willing to risk it? All right? It's okay to feel validated when some stranger hit on you. It's not hard to enact on that validation. It seems you have poor boundaries in place. Unfortunately, I don't know if there's anything you can do to help your husband out of this spiral. It's got to be something he wants for himself. Be patient. Understand and aware of his emotional state at any given time. Good luck, OP. All right. That's a great point. It's like point in therapy is supposed to do. If someone semi-attractive gives you a lot of attention, you're going away from your family, there's no way you're going to get caught if you don't confess. It's very easy to go for it. If therapy is supposed to solve anything, like you don't need to have something inherently wrong inside you, random. Yes. So. Now, for a time being, you've disqualified yourself as a trustworthy caretaker, which is why he won't accept the coffee. Does he have a close friend or relative you can ask for help and help him? You have to explain you hurt him and you still love him. He won't accept your help and you're needing someone else to step in, maybe for him without judgment. Your husband sounds like he put a lot of work into himself, and that part reward that he worked for was your love. Now that love is revoked, he believes that all his hard work isn't good enough and fruitful. He's given up. He needs to get a place of self-love, be motivated by himself, and care for himself, including you. Above all others, including you. Well, right here, Chrono Kiro said, At this point, the focus needs to be on inner work you're trying to fix. You need to get to the root of why you cheated. Why she cheated was going out for a few drinks on a business trip and then not having boundaries against anybody to go up and hit on her that's a random stranger. Until you start counseling and get in touch with yourself while yourself through journaling, it'll help you get a lot of anxiety out without having you spill into your BS, which is betrayed spouse. Right now, every coffee you get a word of affirmation is like poison to your betrayed spouse because it feels like a placation to him. It feels more like lies. Get some books recommended to the sub info section. Take notes and be patient with your betrayed spouse. Have you ever had conversation whether he actually wants to reconcile? Perhaps he needs space from you. That may alleviate the drinking right now. I bet it's quite difficult to be around you. As I just pointed out, be careful with the assumption of coworkers. Usually figure things out. Especially if you were interacting with the guy in front of them, perhaps you should consider abstinent from alcohol also. That got it. These 6 upvotes. All right. Now, I make him coffee. He just leave it on the counter and not touch it or make his own. I try bringing it up to drinking. He will either walk away or ignore me. I'm willing to do whatever he needs to help him. Now, the positive person, all this you've mentioned is something you're looking from your own point of view, woman. Please consider his point of view for a moment. I think that from his point of view, anything you are doing for him is poison, even if you do it out of love. Because of this, anything you offer as help will view as similar to your cheating because it's likely that's where his mind is going to go. If you really want to help him, please talk to his friend and family. Talk to people he loves and respects. You need to let him know why he's behaving that way he is. Lies by omission may not make sense to people, and usually people are smart enough to put 2 and 2 together. Once they are aware of the extent of his hurt and betrayal, they can do their best to help him. He's taking on an enormous burden on himself. I think out of respect towards you, he has to talk to people who can help him out. Because of that, he's suffering alone without any support structure. To protect from a fall and help with a support structure, he can fall far. Excuse me. I've got the point to offer him let him have a one-night stand and make things even. Work as long as I need to make it right. I don't care if it takes 10 years. He's worth it. You're offering to let him have a one-night stand is not quite the same. First of all, I apologize for saying this. It's like dragging him down in dirt so you guys can have some ill-preserved parity. And that is not how things work. Secondly, your marriage is great with a lot of trust and mutual respect between you two. And then you went out and slept with someone else, of course, without his permission. Now the marriage is tainted, and you're giving him permission for a one-night stand is something that would happen with your knowledge and won't have the same thing and same level of damage dealing quality to it. It'd be better if you focus on your effort in building a support structure for him. Those efforts will more likely be more fruitful than making a cup of coffee for him. And I read an analogy somewhere in this analogy is dark. If you take your favorite pet child out in the backyard, then you shoot this pet child in the face and then say sorry 1,000 times to the pet child, what do you think the result is going to be you know what, this analogy right here actually hits home. Okay, so you take your favorite pet child out in the backyard, then you shoot that pet child in the face. Then you say sorry 1,000 times to this pet child. What do you think the result is going to be? Now, Agile Opportunity 41 posted. Now, you're going to have to get his friends or family to have an intervention if drinking is as bad as you described. The sooner the better. Nothing will happen until this is curtailed. I can only stress enough, do whatever it takes to get him sober and drinking straight. Offering a hall pass is a bad idea. In my honest opinion, it's not the same thing or getting even. He gave you permission to him and you cheated, and it's completely different. He's never going to believe that the guy wasn't better, so arguing that point is futile. There is a library in this sub or some great recommendation for you to read. Also, no more drinks with friends or co-workers until you both are in a better place. Cut that alcohol out. That alone will be a trigger for him, and if he's making progress, set him back. As for now, treat him with a coffee. If he isn't taking it, give him space to make his own, at least, or leave food so he can eat alone. You have another room in the house, you can make yourself a place that will give you both some space. And there's a sub support for waywards that could help you also. Anyways, well, I'm gonna go to that sub and I'm gonna do some videos on those subs. I'm gonna make some videos on this. All right. I'm gonna check out this and you definitely should. It's truly heartbreaking. Wow. I don't want to tell anyone what happened unless he's okay with it. He doesn't handle pity very well and has told me in the past it annoys him when people show him pity. He's always been very confident in himself, so I can understand this. I've been going from work straight home each day so he can feel secure in his relationship. There isn't really a place in our house that's separate. He's been sleeping on the spare room when he actually goes to bed. So that, you know what? If the husband's been sleeping in the spare room, that's a start. Give him that space. Give him that space. I get not wanting to tell anyone about it. At some point, you're going to have to make a decision. Is risk worth the reward? Is this going to affect his job? Is it going to put his life and others in danger to be driving? So at some point, you're going to have to tell someone because it can't go on like this. This will blow up the marriage more. Maybe if it saves the other parts of his life, it has to be done at some points. So to the OP says 2 months ago, I understand. I'm trying to talk to him. He's currently in the backyard. I know he can't keep drinking like this. It's never an issue for him before. He has no issue stopping before this. He hasn't been driving to drink. He just walks. It will affect his work through some point. He leaves the house hungover, and I have no doubt people have noticed. He looks awful when he goes to work. So he walks to work, all right? So he's wrestling with shame and feels like a failure. He needs a friend who can support him, not pity him. A good friend will tell him he's great. He didn't deserve what you did. And you are the one with the obvious problem that you could appreciate him enough even to spend the second half considering what cheating would do to him. Now, so I'm going to go ahead and go down here. Unsuccessful reconciliation. It's never been an issue before. He has never been plunged into darkness. He's trying to escape the pain. But the pain keeps reminding him, okay? As a man, the pain is raw. Okay? The pain is raw. And just before he has probably never plunged into his darkness, he is trying to escape the pain. He doesn't want your help because he can't trust you. Women, if you are thriving on excitement and want to go out and drink alcohol, that man can't trust you. He thinks you're going to go out there and going to let somebody else hit on you. You're going to just, you know, it's the marriage is tainted. It's time to bring in someone who he can trust. Is there a way you can maybe move out for now, stay with family maybe? He needs to to work on himself before he can consider reconciliation. So, remember when a man gets betrayed in an affair like this, you never get over it. Why don't you write to him? I know you may not read it, but maybe you record it and just play it for him. And that tell him you understand he can't trust you and accept your help. So as a punishment, you are going to talk to this XYZ person of what you did. If your hubby allows it, you are asking him permission before you do that and willing to make that humiliation, willing to take that humiliation that comes with it. If your response is great, you got a door cracked open. If not, talk to someone who really can help your hubby. Like, I've heard him in the worst way possible. I won't go into detail without him. Hubby giving you permission. Hubby needs help. I can't. So please, you third party, help him. This is pretty possible that even after all these, your husband recovers, not your marriage will survive. But you got to try it and needs to walk away, as mentioned before. What you had is dead. Okay, your husband reminds me of Nicolas Cage character in the movie Leaving Las Vegas. I agree your husband has no way to cope with this. You at least did the right thing by cutting your trip short, coming home, immediately tell your husband. It would have been better if you never told your husband and take it to the grave and not do it again. But again, men are logical creatures. Men are not emotional creatures. You could tell stuff out of emotion, they forget about it minutes later. Any question you should ask yourself, but don't have answer here. Is this guy a step up from your husband? Would you have cut your trip short and told your husband directly? Just answer honestly for yourself. You don't have to tell us your answer. You did not mention children in your post. Do you have children? You can tell us how long have you been married. And somebody else said you should leave work and quit your job. He will never again feel secure and trust you, truly trust you. And humility can be a good thing. So, never offer someone you love the lower path. Tell them you can have outside of fair. It may seem like you're trying to be fair. it's only further destructive. Knife is in, it's like telling him that putting another knife in will make it better. You're taking up old habits to spiral, okay? One can hope he hasn't cheated in this spiral and throwing away a last bit of indignity. If you haven't, if you haven't, this can use to pull him out. Identify 2 or 3 other people who support him the most. Let them know what has happened. He needs an intervention. He needs an overwhelming show of love and support. He needs proof of love. Not just you promise to do things. He needs counseling. He needs time away from you. He needs support from people who know won't betray him. He needs reason and he needs community. Now, our supporter for betrayed is just one of many. Find him those things seem to put him in motion and necessary step away from him. Make an ultimatum of divorce if he doesn't get the help necessary. Take accountability for what you did. Listen, the man is wounded and you go make an ultimatum for divorce. You're the one that stepped out and cheated, not him. Okay? Prove it. Love is the action, not mere words. No. He should start now. Dry report. Observer. He's starting in a state of limbo. Unfortunately, you can't get him out. He has to get out of it. I would suggest if you could bring in someone. Okay, everybody else talking about bringing in someone. Alrighty. He is not going. He is going to need space for now. Being around you is probably the hardest part for him. He's in the backyard going to bars so he doesn't have to see you getting drunk to process what happened. So he's trying to not to blow up on you every 5 minutes. He doesn't care about the gym anymore. Oh, that's gone. All that time and effort put into looking good for you just have to screw some slob from a bar. He's picking apart every part of your relationship to figure out where he went wrong. He's not only mad at you, but even more mad at himself for trusting you and not seeing any signs that you could be this type of person. He is now wondering about every time you went out on one of them trips. You came clean to this time, but honestly, you were not going to convince him that this was his first time this happened. I'm not even convinced of that. How did your boss know about this? Not one person in the group you were tried to stop you from leaving with that guy. He at least had one friend that knows what happened. That friend told him to leave you. He's just not sure what to do. My advice is stay away for a while. Seeing you every day replaying that movie in his head, he's going to have to decide he wants to start a relationship all over again because the one he had is over. So I'm going down here and um, now now Trash 332 said I'm a cheater also. I mean, you know what you did. You took the man's life. He was 100% invested, and you showed him you were not. So yeah, you broke him. My wife and I remained together for 10 years since the D-Day. It's not easy. I took from her security and dreams of us. You did the same. Now you, now either try to fix it or move on. No matter what's though here will hurt feelings the entire day. Good luck. Hope you find peace. Hmm. So it looks like no. Recovered and reconciled 2 months ago. Oleg Oleger 3G said this. I was your husband. It's hell. Heartbreaking. He's able to overcome. I'm 10 years out. Still triggered. Still want answers. Our situation practically spot on to yours. 10 years married, 2 children. I was told out of guilt. I wanted to run. I wanted to hurt someone. I wanted to just hold my wife. It was almost disgusted by her. All I could tell you is what my wife did to begin the reconciliation. She was constantly there for me, never pushing anything on me, but always a presence. She immediately made herself vulnerable. I could have her phone at any moment, email, social media, etc. She was making it known to me there was no more secrets. She would do whatever I needed to satisfy any worry I had. So much more. We celebrated 20th year anniversary this year. Our relationship is so much closer. It did change me. I used to rage and tell her she ruined the person I was, the person everyone knew and liked. She did change me. So I was your husband for a while, broken, undone, beaten. The new person eventually found his place. Is now we're a better place than before. I will say, as a man who feels that a man has a role in the family as a leader and protector, had to fight against my pride to not just walk, better yet, hurt the person whom I felt earned that when he willingly pursued my partner whom he knew I was married. It has taken work. Hopefully he can see the damage he's doing to himself and decide to come to you willingly, put together a plan to overcome. It can be done. Woo! Now, married women, you think having your cake and eat it too is out of excitement? That excitement also comes with a cost. As I read this post from a betrayed husband's point of view, the pain will linger. It's not. You cut a wound today and tomorrow it's fully healed. All right? And Scary Inspector 8315 said, "This truly broke my heart. I don't have much advice to give you other. Please stop praising him or doing things for him. You're just making things worse. This is the last thing he wants from you. No amount of sincerity on your part will reach him. Everything you do will sound completely fake." Ooh, that is putting it bluntly. Your old marriage and your old husband are dead. You kill these two and you start accepting it. There is no going back to it. Like, you can never erase that night from your life. What's done in the past stays in the past. But you can learn from this, okay? You need to find ways to the future together or alone. Right now, your husband is in a self-destructive mode because he's trying to avert his eyes from reality you force upon him. Taking him out of it would be your priority, even that doing what you don't want to do. Letting him go so he can heal. Not saying this is absolute. It's just that it should be in the card just in case. You destroyed your husband. You showing he's worthless. Can't reason how he failed in your relationship. His reaction hurt to your infidelity is very deep. He's completely lost. His moral fiber and trust building what he had thought was his ideal marriage is in shambles. He has no control over it. I have immense sorrow for him because he opened his heart and mind and body for you. He worked out for you. He did those small things for you. He was committed to you. But one fell swoop you made all not matter with that night of promiscuity. He no longer cares about his body, his soul, because you threw it away with impunity. This is the raw consequences of to the cheating. Yeah, counseling and therapy and discussion will not repair all that he has lost internally. However, therapy for you can help understand your actions and his. Think about it. I'm sorry if he's self-destructive, but you did this to him. Hope you stick by him and continue to care for him. It will take years to repair the damage. It won't happen overnight. Be strong if you can. Hold out. Don't quit on him. You have to endure a lot of hate, but if you love him, you'll make the effort. Good luck. All right. Now, now, I'm trying to find the original poster in here. Um, Now, I'm going to put all this down here. Um, I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna go find it real quick. I'm gonna find the original poster. See if I can find it. Now, I don't see no response. But I always tell women alcohol is a factor in affairs. Alcohol is a factor in this. Um, Now, this here is more logical right here. The anger at this point is turned inward. You self-medicated to reduce the pain inflicted by your confession. Get yourself in a therapist and get him talking. The first FO is the beginning of his anger being turned towards you. That's not good. I've seen guys destroy their wife's life in anger. I do asset analysis for divorce proceedings, from the public drunkenness to assaulting other the other man revenge affairs that scorched their wayward partner's life. Had one guy get into his wayward wife's personal finances, he discovered a nest egg case for marriage ended. He blew that under 48 hours. Had another purposely date his wayward wife's cousin. She loved family get-togethers, therefore she could not be in the same room as two of the women there. They slept with her betrayed husband. There are horror stories on there, so many different sites. Do not sit still. Your marriage at this point is on life support. Woo! Now, women, are you considering going out and getting your sexual needs met by a stranger in a bar while married to your husband? I would not do that if I were you. Whew. Now, what I'm reading here is some powerful posts. I can give you some advice. Well, technically, it's advice for both of you. If you both want to reconcile, I think it's okay. It starts with you right now, the wife who cheated on her husband. Develop some empathy for your spouse. When you cheated on him, you just displayed a startling lack of empathy for this man. Engaging in something he knew that would deeply harm him. You may not realize this yet, because I do believe you love your husband. You have a very, very low empathy for him, meaning you are not really able to put yourself in his place and envision what he's going through and consider the hurt, his hurt and pain. There's a good chance that this is always not the case, but this feeling has eroded during the relationship. It could also be that this is a reoccurring theme in your marriage if you reflect on it. You may even have a general low level of empathy for people in general. This is why you decided to put momentary thrill ahead of the damage you knew it would do to your spouse. Okay, you may have been able to intellectually consider the damage it would do, but you could not feel it. As you might infer, this makes you, at least for now, dysfunctional human being, as a typical love and empathy are granted together. Ouch. In your case, however, this is not the case. The only good news here is you can learn to develop and strengthen your empathy. I would suggest you start doing it in a post haste. All right. Your focus should no longer be on your feeling, but primarily on imagine what he's going through and reacting appropriately in deed, in thought, in word. The focus should be on you trying to literally feel his pain and respond accordingly. Look, I don't think you're a monster. Just dysfunctional right now. Dysfunctional probably premeditates the infidelity. Predates the infidelity, but a lot of people are dysfunctional. Okay. The key thing, what would you do about it? My advice would be stop fixating on fixing the relationship or saving the marriage. Instead, focus on fixing yourself and supporting your husband in whatever way he needs. If he needs to ride to the bar to get a blackout drunk, then do it and wait around to pick him up. Less than ideal is better than him drunk driving and dying. Ouch. If he needs to rant and rave at you, listen to him attentively and don't break down and weep. Put on a brave face, be consoling, be consolatory, and don't pressure him and don't talk about your feelings unless he asks. Now isn't the time for that. And it probably won't be the time for that for a very long time if you're lucky. The chief thing is to avoid the emotional death spiral by heaping shit on each other. I would advise you just take it for now instead of answering, I don't know, I'm going to find out, instead of saying I'm sorry over and over again. Thank him for not abandoning you and you in a relationship. Let him know you are grateful for every tiny scrap, anything he gives you. Gratitude is rooted in empathy. Look for it and practice it. Now, reconciling B as betrayed spouse. As a man that's been cheated on, since this is my opinion, women cheating on a man is much different than a man cheating on a woman, on women. Men can forgive women who don't care what others say. This is my belief. You need to talk to one of your husband's friends and family members, get them to sort him out back on his horse and get out of the drink. He spiraled out of control. I did this with Canvas first week of finding out. He won't listen to you. You need to get someone else to help him with this. Next thing is, if you tell him everything, every detail, second by second of what happened, he will never truly believe you, and the damage you have done to trust is now gone, end of. This is very little you can do to make things better. Give him space to answer all your questions. Try to make daily life as easy as possible. Be prepared to take a shouting every now and again. He's going to boil over and let it out some days. All you can do is take it and move on to the next day. I wish you luck. It is going to be the hardest thing you ever do in your life. Try to come figure out why you did what you did do and let him know your thoughts on it. But your true opinion, what you think he wants to hear, you may not say true. It's got 12 downvotes. Now, when the 3-bow break says, nope, there's no men versus women stuff out there. It hurt horrifically, and a chance of reconciliation or individual and not gender based. Okay. So now we're going to get into the aftermath of the infidelity when a woman stepped out on her husband. Okay. Yes, good old answer, old evidence. How about actual research instead? So let's go. One study examined the difference in diagnosis of clinical PTSD was a large sample conducted in Australia, over 10,000 participants. Okay, and they found now with no difference in prevalence of diagnosis of PTSD is okay. So standard of diagnostic and statistical manual for mental disorder, 4th edition, did find women were more likely to meet both criterion A, exposure to traumatic event, and strong emotional reaction. Well, women can get, when they get cheated on, their worlds get turned upside down. Now, when a man gets cheated on, his world gets turned upside down. It was predicted by the betrayal trauma would mediate the relationship between gender and PTSD. However, since only gender difference was found at re-experienced and symptoms, betrayal trauma, gender difference, post-traumatic stress, psychological theory. So, excuse me. The ratings more of likely forgiveness following the same pattern. Okay, let me go ahead and reread this. Since you said that men find it harder to forgive than women, I did a little research on that. I could say that on what little data I found here, indeed debunked your hypothesis. The ratings like forgiveness followed the same pattern of ratings of distress. Okay, I would expect the more distress in the event with more difficult to forgive. It was both consistent and inconsistent with the reported to 2002. Okay, the distressing event was more difficult to forgive only when they presented forced a choice between two types of infidelity, assuming that both have occurred. Okay, simple choice between forgiving sexual or emotional infidelity was presented. Both men and women were likely to indicate that sexual infidelity was harder to forgive. Now, emotional infidelity, yeah, okay, you're going to have to reconnect back to the person that you got married to, okay? Now, sexual infidelity, aka somebody else going inside your body with their other body part, um, that was harder to forgive. Now, since the current procedures did not force individual participants to compare sexual and emotional infidelity, the effect of contact at question was on response made unclear. A result implied when the two types of infidelity are considered separate, sexual infidelity is more distressing and harder to forgive for both men and women. Did you get that? So I wonder if your evidence partially based on social, familial, financial factors, namely goes, does a stay-at-home mom with kids at home with nothing more riding, have more riding that she'll forgive? I explain that in the next comment box. So just by examining the PTSD, you gave your husband a PTSD if you cheated on him. I mean, you were his only true love. You're the only woman that he loved. You're the only woman that he wanted to be with. Okay? And you went and had sex with a random stranger. For what? Over alcoholic drinks? I'm going to skip this. I'm going to skip that. I'm going to skip this. So, now, but to get to the raw truth is a toxic statement. Cheating kills the soul of the betrayed, not gender specific. We all agree that cheating is wrong. My husband, who is a man who is completely undeniable, forgiven me. He doesn't hold it over my head. He believes every detail I shared. The person named Unforgiven was a cheater at one time. Her husband forgiven her. So I'm going to find the other response from that person. Sounds like somebody. This thing here is actually. This one here is actually triggered a lot of people. I don't. Okay, there's no more. I mean, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and run on this topic. But the wife actually Okay, um, she actually regretted her running off. So, all right, I'm gonna continue on this. And wow, this is I'm gonna so I have I covered that one part where she said she. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put that right back. I'm gonna put this right back up here. Now, she went to another part on Reddit and said, "I saw my husband again today, and I messed up." So, so what did she do? Everybody said that she needed to quit her job. Okay, and anyways, I know I shouldn't have. I know I shouldn't have, but I saw my husband today. I quit my job. I used my saved up to leave to get out immediately so I don't have to give them my final 4 weeks before being officially out of the office. The word is spread around in my office what I did. I kept getting looks from coworkers. I couldn't take it anymore. So she got her karma. She went and had sex with that random stranger. And office gossip got all over the place. So she caught it from her husband. Her husband don't want to even be around her. Now her coworkers looking at her like, what kind of a coworker are you? So, okay. Anyway, let's go back on here. Word is spread around my office what I did. I kept getting looks from my coworkers. I could not take anymore. My first day off was today, and I spent most of it crying. I couldn't take anymore. So I drove to our house to speak to him. I know I promised him space. It was like someone was sitting on my chest. I was hoping we could talk. Part of me was hoping he would be at work and I wouldn't see him because he doesn't want to see me. He was home. When I walked through the door, he just looked at me expressionless. I told him I need to speak to him, just hear his voice. He told me just go back to my parents. He sounded so fed up with me. Well, he's talking. The betrayed husband is talking. He sounded so fed up with me. I tried telling him how I was feeling. He just said he needs time to think about everything. Listen, to the woman who went and slept with a random stranger, your feelings don't matter. You're going to tell him your feelings. He don't care about your feelings. His best friend was there. She started yelling at me, telling me to go. Woo! Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay. The cheating wife caught it from her co-workers. She caught it from her husband. Now her husband's best friend is screaming at her, telling her to go. I tried to say I wanted to speak to my husband. She laughed and told me I might as well start calling him my ex. And he stopped her, which I appreciated, and asked her to give us some time to talk. She was clearly reluctant, but did not walk out of the room. And I asked him if he's going to go to marriage counseling. Okay, so you're wanting to go to marriage counseling, and he said no. See, you don't know what you got until it's gone. He told me he doesn't know if we will be able to make past this. He doesn't see me as his wife anymore. I told him I wouldn't fight it if he wanted a divorce. But if he was willing to give me a chance, I'd do anything to earn back his trust. I told him I quit my job. I would find another one I meant I could work from home. I wouldn't take a trip anywhere else unless he came with me. I only drank with him and him only. And only drank if he did. Right here. All right. I give him access to my phone and my social media. He asked my location at all times. He just looked at me and said he isn't a prison guard and has no intention of becoming one. I tried to tell him it isn't about being a prison guard. It's about showing him I'm serious about earning back his trust. He looked down and told me that was unlikely. He asked me if I ever cheated before, and I promised him I haven't. He asked me to explain what happened that night, all the details. I didn't want to, but I did. He just looked at me the whole time, silently listened. I didn't spare anything. I told him everything. He asked me if that's all it took for me to destroy our marriage. Some guy offered to buy you drinks and compliment you is all it took. I was a mess at this point. I told him I was wrong and selfish. So you said you didn't know what was wrong with you. You didn't know why you did it. And now, come over here, you admitted it. You said you were wrong and selfish. And you had done something unforgivable, but was determined to show him how much you love him. He just looked down. He looked down and said, "Let's clear." He said, "It's clear. I never truly loved him. I loved myself and what he could give me, but I did not love him." I told him that wasn't true. He just looked at me and told me it is. If I loved him, I wouldn't have done this. I had plenty of opportunities not to cheat, but I went through with it on my own selfish reasons that he didn't want me to want to be with someone else who could do that. He told me the thought of having bedroom fun with me has now made him feel nauseous, as it should be. That in his eyes, I wasn't worth it. He told me he don't need to hear anymore, and me showing up to speak to him was proof I didn't care about his needs. He said he was going to find a divorce lawyer in the next 2 weeks and start the process. It felt like a knife in my chest. I begged him to wait until I was in counseling so I can make real progress for him. He said I should anyway since our marriage is over. He's right. He told me he'll be willing to split our money down the middle and sell the house so we can start our own lives again. He told me once the divorce done, he don't want anything to do with me. He seen a true me and he didn't like it. He told me to grab everything I need from the house, that next time he speak to me, it will be with whomever he hires as his divorce lawyer. Okay, women, you thrive on excitement. You want fun and excitement, and getting into alcohol. The ex-wife said, "I hate myself. I ruined my marriage. Not even 5 years into it." I read all the comments on my last post, and I appreciate all of them. A lot of them put a mirror up for me to see how awful I really been. I'm sorry for not responding to all of them. I didn't have the answers for a lot of them. My counseling starts in 2 weeks, and I'm still going to go. I told my parents what he said. My dad just said, "Good for him," and walked away. My mom said, "Consequences," and hugged me. I tried talking to my sister. She told me to go to hell. I appreciate everyone who reached out privately, even hateful messages. I deserve them all. I know he won't have any issue finding someone to be with. I just wished he wanted to be with me. The man is just that you cheated on your husband has spoken to you. He said next time you talk to him, it will be through his lawyer. He's just going to divorce you. You went out there and you got on that alcohol. You went to a bar. And remember, you go to bars for 2 things. Go hook up, to find a quick sex, to find somebody to go to bed with and bang, and then y'all go separate ways. You chose poorly. Now he's chosen at this point. The best and most loving thing you can do for your husband is to give him the easiest divorce. Return most reasonably favor to him quickly as possible. Do not argue, fight, or delay. Do not consume, beg for reconciliation. Let him go. Leave him alone forever. If he wants to seek you out in the future, he will. Maintaining your presence in his life against his wishes is selfish. It will hinder his healing. These are consequences of your selfish actions. She said she don't know why she did it on the first post, okay? So the second one, she said, these are the consequences of your selfish actions. You must accept them graciously. Allow him to move on and heal. Unfortunately, you failed the wife test in a particular fashion. You need to recognize that you are broken. There's no redemption for this relationship. You alone destroyed it, period. Seek individual counseling for yourself. Do not cease until you have concrete answers to why you did what you did so easily and carelessly, and without any consideration for anyone but yourself. Women, listen. If you work in an office and they send you on business trips, temptations are right there. Okay? And from what she said, her sister won't even talk to her. Her dad said, "Good for him," and then walked away. The mom said, "Consequences." What more do you need to hear? For goodness sake, do not drag anyone new into a relationship unless you have these answers either. Hopefully you can fix yourself and become someone worthy of love and trust in a distant future. This story saddened me, and I cannot say I sympathize or invite anyone but your husband and his family and friends. Good luck. Now, someone else posted right here. When we cheat on our partners, it's not only them we injure, we hurt everyone connected to the person. So, my body, my choice. Oh, I'm going to go out. I'm going to have my cake and I'm going to eat it. Oh, I'm going to go. Oh, you know what? That guy's cute. He ain't nothing. But I need to have my needs met. Then you go do it. Then you turn around. You regret you did wrong. And then you go and confess. You let the cat out of the bag. And us. I know this must hurt like a MF. What makes it worse? There aren't wrong in many things that they said about us when we are hurting. Not always, but many. I haven't heard it put so harshly, but at the end he was not wrong. That it seemed to be a little reward for you to throw away so much. And that has to sting everything in him. Okay? We do not have to stay like this. I'm happy you have something to look forward to. Hopefully you use therapy to create a better you. Time to build some constructive outlets in this immediate future. Start working out, get a hobby, read some self-help books. These things will help you occupy the time. It can be constructive. Help to build that better you. Even as a former wayward, I came down hard on cheaters. I usually come down hard on cheaters, particularly those who post a lot of self-delusion. I see none of that here. Maybe that makes me believe you have such a good chance of turning yourself around and not making this define you. But define a moment that you can use the catalyst to become something incredible. Let me start by process by adding this. I think you are awesome for not playing games. You knew he was crashing. You knew there was a highly likelihood that getting him help would galvanize his friends against reconciliation. Yet you did what was right. Even though it might hurt you, that speaks to the greatest foundational core of who you are. Even though you may end up losing this marriage, still early, you're solidly win as a human being. 19 for being flawsome, not flawed, but awesome. Okay. Okay, the underrated has lost her husband. So, the underrated, I'm going to see if I can find her other comments. And, so, I'm going to go find the other comment. Wow, look like moderator's been busy removing comments left and right. Okay. So way underrated arrow 9922, and she also posted in support for waywards. All right. She said she feels awful and unclean. Okay. Now, she said, I've been struggling to sleep since I last saw my husband. I barely sleep longer than 3 hours. When I do sleep, I keep having these awful nightmares. My counseling session is a couple of days. I'm not doing well at all. I can't really talk to anyone either. All of my close friends have been supporting my husband now. They know about my infidelity. My sister won't talk to me or return any of my messages. My dad seemed to do everything he can to avoid me. My mom has been very clear about how disappointed she is given my action and giving me the silent treatment mostly. If she isn't doing that, she is telling me how disappointed she is, not allowing me to open up about how I'm feeling. My whole life has collapsed around me. I can understand I don't deserve to be coddled. I can't even speak to my parents about how I'm doing. I can barely be able to eat. I have no appetite. Most of what I do is cry in my room at my mom and dad's house. All right. And the hate that most recent sexual interaction I had was with that man I cheated on my husband with nearly 4 months ago. I feel dirty. I keep showering, but feeling doesn't go away. I just wanted to be with my husband. I know I have no right to feel like this, but I find myself daydreaming about being with him again like that. Even if it's just to make my last intimate experience. I haven't heard from a divorce attorney yet, so there's some hope there. I haven't heard from my husband, so I don't know. I messaged his best friend who is staying with him currently to support him, make sure he's okay. She just replied with, he's doing all fine, things considered. She hasn't responded to any of my follow up messages. I hate myself and what I've done. I don't know what to do with myself right now. How do I get rid of this feeling like I'm unclean? All right. How do I sleep without these nightmares? How do I repair? How can I repair at least own of the relationship with someone in my family so I can talk to someone about how I feel? Listen, I wrote a letter from my husband. I don't know how to get to him. I'm not going to bother him. I'm just going to go keep it aside so I can give it to him when he decides he's willing to see me again. I regret everything I did and wished I could take it all back. I can't though. How can I get to the point of my life isn't a living hellscape? Thank you for reading if you do. Mm. So, what this Peace Waveley said, all these appropriate feelings coming up that you have been given space for yourself, feel able to process and move through. Journaling, go for a walk, crying, praying, and all that. Would your parents, sister have you apologize to them for how action hurting them? Can you express how much you need support from them? If they can offer it through the emotional pain has cost them, that might help. Godspeed, okay? I have apologized to my family for what I've done. It hasn't done much in any way of helping our relationship. I tried to talk to my mom tonight. She said everything I'm feeling is well deserved. As for suggesting, I've pretty much done nothing but cried. I'm not religious. I'm not doubting. I'm not praying much of a difference. I plan on going journaling and seeing what kind of and what's in the way. Thank you for commenting. Now, you know, when the woman stepped out on her husband in that marriage, not even 5 years, okay, they're getting a divorce. According to this post here, they're getting a divorce. Husband ain't gonna forgive her. He doesn't take pity too well either. And and So I'm gonna go to that moderator and moderator approved. I'm gonna go to that observer. I'm gonna go to him and I'm gonna go to that person and I believe once you figured out why you may or may not be able to make some headway in repairing your relationship with your family, you can sincerely, honestly speak to them on why you made such a god awful choice, how you recognize why you why you did it, and are going to actively work on how to make such bad choices moving forward in your life. You'd be better received than a blanket apology that they have no reason to believe it is sincere since you already proven you are capable of this kind of betrayal. Disgust of this person that you are could choose to betray your husband in a manner only part of how they choose to react to you. Another part is they are now fearful you betraying them in a meaningful way that they have to irrefutable evidence that you are capable of it, being able to share the work you do in therapy to figure this out so you can deem a safe person to be intimate and close relationship. Once again, it should be a goal set up for yourself in therapy. Edit to add, it's very important to take this time. People going through the toughest thing they have are facing, they want to, okay? Now, according to this right here, all right, now this is what the original poster posts up here. I'm sorry, it isn't going to magically make everything better. I'm not 6 years old. I know it will take work. I'm struggling giving. I can't begin to yet start healing of any of my friendship because no one is even open to having a conversation. I did not gaslight anyone. They knew after my infidelity they were struggling. They just didn't know. They did not know I had cheated. My husband was clear that he didn't want to know what I'd done. I ended up telling his best friend because of his drinking gotten out of control. I was terrified something awful would happen. I didn't know who told the wider group the details, whether she did or my husband did, but they don't. But they know now. Only people I told were my parents, sisters, and my boss. Everyone else has learned from a different source. I know no one owes me anything. I'm just struggling here to have no one that I can talk to. Just going out having a sexual affair for an excitement will render you alone right here. I thought I had my parents would at least listen to what I had to say. Like I said in my post, I don't know. I know I shouldn't be coddled, but have everyone around me completely cut me off has been really difficult. Even your own family, if they cut you off, that's bad. It's been really difficult. You have no support system. And and she's alone. I have ideas of taking walks. I live in a relatively safe area. Issue the energy and motivation with lack of sleep. I'm barely getting by as is. I haven't had any alcohol since the night I cheated. I made a promise to my husband only drink from now on. If he's around, I intend to stick to it. I'm drinking water but struggling to eat. When I do end up eating, I feel sick to my stomach and it is doing flips. I'm considering making an appointment with my doctor. So I'm going forward through here to see. I'm going to find the now the underrated arrow. Thank you for writing detailed advice. I'm going to take this on board. I like the idea of getting groceries delivered, takeout. I will send her a message, ask her if there's anything they need. I will try to talk to my mom again. Thank you for the advice there. I don't know if the mom's going to open up or listen. I don't know. I, I can't speak for her. But the cheating spouse said, "Thank you for time to comment. I know this isn't my entire life. Will look just hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel right now." No, just having sex with a random stranger at a bar ruined this marriage. So, Big Boy Scooby said, "Stop contacting your husband. Stop trying to talk to your husband. Stop writing him letters. Stop messaging people to check up on him. Stop trying to be in his life. Just stop trying." Mm. So she's trying to get back in his life. She's trying to do everything. She's trying to go back to where it was. And the sad part is, yeah, I'm going through. Anyways, own your consequences and move on. Remember that. So I'm trying to get updates. I'm trying to find the updates to this. So, um, this is proof. This is proof. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and remove this. I'm gonna go take a look at the other. All right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and put it right back. I am struggling to see myself anything other than this terrible person. Okay. Now, 3 months ago, I strayed. I made a post a couple of days ago. The advice really good. I've actioned some of it. I'm actually sorry to post this too long. I need to get some of this out. So, so a lot of advice from my post was to tell someone close to my husband what I did and tell him that he needs help. I ended up telling his best friend, which is a female. I asked her to come over 2 nights ago so I could explain why my husband's been refused to see any of his friends, why he's been so absent. I told her everything. She rightfully so exploded at me, called me terrible names, asked me where he was, where he'd gone to a pub, finding out that is routine every day. She left telling me he'd be an idiot not to leave you. They came back home, and 20 minutes later, she told me to pack some bags because I need to stay at my parents'. I tried to argue, but my husband told me to leave. I told my parents as well now. They were confused as why I was showing up at their house 8 a.m. with 3 bags full of clothes. I sent him a text today telling him I love him. I'd do anything to earn back his trust. I also called his best friend to see if she progressed any on his drink. She told me he's gone to a group of alcoholic session to talk it out. It seemed better. He's poured out all his alcohol in this house. She's been staying with him, make sure he doesn't do anything crazy. I don't know if I can say the word here, but you get what I'm saying. My parents are furious at me, especially my mom. She keeps asking me why. My dad's barely spoken to me. Every time my phone vibrates, I get a little panic attack. I get terrified. I'll get a message from him telling me he's done with me. He never wants to speak to me again. I probably deserve him divorcing me. In one of the posts, he said he's filing for divorce. Okay? But I'll do anything to make it work. Just keep thinking about that night. My husband's handsome, incredibly shaped, loving, affectionate, compassionate, most caring man I've ever met, and I threw away for a shit bedroom fund with a douchebag I will never see again. Listen, those douchebags are bad boys. Listen, them douchebags, bad boys, will destroy marriages. These are the guys that you want to stay clear from. And above all, if you're working in an office, stay the hell out of bars. Stay the hell away from alcohol. For someone that's lesser than my husband in every way, my sister even decided she does not want to see me for a while. She doesn't trust me around her husband anymore. I'm sure all of his friends knows what happened because all of them have blocked me on social media now. I deserve this and much more. Sorry for the rant. I need to get this out. I probably won't be able to reply to many comments. I'm just overwhelmed. Please know that great advice is greatly appreciated, even though I really don't know what I'm looking at right now. I wish I can go back and stop myself. I wish I never went on that F's business trip. I wish I was a better person and wife. I guess I'm realizing I never deserved him. It's not that business trip, okay? It was going to that damn bar and drinking alcohol. You're going out with coworkers. That's a big bad no-no. That's a big bad no-no. So I'm going to go through you know, and so I'm going to see if I can find that response. Underrated Arrow 922. I know I can't control anything he chooses to do. I told him once I admitted what I did. I want to earn his trust back and show him how much I love him. My main concern is making sure he's okay. He's always looked after me. The least I could do is to help him back. So, I'm going to fix myself for myself. My hope is he sees that. He's not going to see that. He's going to see you as an ex-wife. I have my own counseling sessions. Well, and we did. They've been friends since they were 8, 9. I fully trust her fully. She made it clear she doesn't trust me anymore, though. Her last message was, "You betrayed him, you hurt him." I never seen him like this, so it was my decision to have filed for divorce. You don't deserve it with your scum, and she's right. Well, ooh, ouch. You know, that man took it really hard. You just had a sex with a loser at a bar. You cannot blame the business trip. Thank you for your message. I knew how to tell him immediately. I lost all of my friends. Was it really worth it? They have rallied around him. All they blocked me. I know repairing those connections will take years probably. I just want to reconcile with my husband first. He is my main priority. Only thing that bringing me any solace, knowing he's getting support. We have another marriage counseling appointment next week. I'm not going to cancel unless he asks me, though. I'm going to see if he, and if he goes, that's great. I've written a letter, but I'm rewriting it. Can't seem to get it right. Now, the wayward spouse, the wayward wife decided to have a fling with a loser at a bar, and she's blaming it on a business trip. Let me tell you this. She made that choice to drink alcohol, let that man take advantage of her. And she went along with it. So, with this being done, okay. With this being done, you can never, never, never go back to the way it was. She saw her ex-husband. He looked at her and spoke to her. You know, he told her. And he just filed for divorce. Now, cheating women, if you actually want to go out there, well, feminism this, I'm oppressed, and I'm this, I'm that, and you just swallow that Kool-Aid, and you say, you go, girl, soft girl, sub, or this girl, sub, that girl, and you go work at a place in the office, and you go on a business trip, you should stay away from alcohol. Just to give you a heads up, alcohol is a sex enhancer. And it will poison your soul. All right, hope this video help you out, okay? Take care of yourself and behave.